Hey, hi kittens. How y'all doing?
Everyone doing today? It's good to
What's
see
going
you.
on? What's going on?
What's the gaga? What's the tea? What's the
Yeah.
word?
What's going on? That's what I want to know. Yes. How y'all doing? It is Wednesday, kids. How y'all doing?
Another Wednesday back in the spot. So
Yes, indeed.
I am excited. As I was saying to you before we went on air, you know how I do. I'm all before the show, I'm all like,
and
then as soon as the camera is on me,
Hachitachi.
Because I'm a motherfucking professional.
Well, I mean, that's what we're doing. Come on, we've been in this 136 shows in the game. I mean, come on now, what the fuck? I mean, on top of everything else.
Exactly. When someone was literally asking me that today, it was like, what time is the show? I was like, yeah, it's at 8:00. He was like, and you're getting ready to go out to the store. Don't you need to prepare? I was like, honey, we've been doing this for 2.5 years. We've got it down. We've got it to the science. Yeah. And when we're doing it from a remote location, it's even easier.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. I can't even talk today. It's like I have had some alcohol, which I don't have right now, but I probably will have some later.
But yes, we will soon, though.
Yes, indeed. So, welcome, kids. It is so good to see you. I see some of our fan favorites are BGKHers. I see Eccentric. I see Lynx. How y'all doing? Glad to have y'all here. Yay. Looking forward to today's chit chat and see what y'all have to say about a few things.
Yes. I'm excited. So how was your week, sir?
Listen, I can't even lie.
I can't even lie. Fuck better when I'm drinking.
It's been a horrible week, but it's also been it's been a horrible week coming from the prior week, and but it's gotten a little bit better, and I'm seeing some light at the end of the tunnel. I'm trying not to share too much right now, but I mean I eventually will when everything's all straightened out. But I'm making some headway with my issues, and I'm just annoyed at the process at the process, and it's a friggin' expensive lesson, but I'll talk about that eventually.
Bureaucracy is a bitch. She's a hateful ass heifer.
But other than that, I'm okay. I can't really complain. I have been
hallelujah
thinking about a few things lately, and made some declarations for myself. So we'll see how they come to be. I mark them down in my phone because I want to come back to them. I want to refer back to them at a future date and time.
Yes.
But yes. So for me, it's been good. Moments, but it's been good. So I can't really complain. So yeah. How about you? How was your week?
It was, work is work. So, it's nothing really exciting to talk about. My boss's boss asked me for my resume today. So I feel like they're going to try to continue this conversation of, what do you think you can fit in? I'm like, where? So just be clear that I do good work as long as I'm here, but this isn't a long-term thing for me. This is administrative assistant work, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with being an administrative assistant.
Right.
But it's a surprisingly high-paying administrative position. Although I think I'm on pretty firm ground in saying that I probably make at least 60% more than everybody else who's doing this job. So that's because we come through different contract companies.
Right.
And so whatever contract they got me through. So, but it is what it is. So I don't want to talk about that too much. I want to talk about our weekend. So there I was on the TikToks. And one of, when you're in
the TikToks, the Tic Tac, what's the Tic Tac booms? What's that?
The ticky ticky booms, yes.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
And so when you're on TikTok, they give you, in addition to whatever it is from your thing, because you're scrolling and it's giving you a For You page based on your likes. But also if you're from the area, they'll give you certain things. So there are various TikTokers that, be like, if you want to have a fun weekend in DC, do this. Or if you want to, the area's best birria tacos, go here. So they were like, well, hey, there's this place. He said, me and my girlfriend went to Scott's Run, and they showed them taking cute little pictures at the little waterfall and stuff. So I was like, beep, boop, 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 beep, boop, 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 beep. What y'all doing on Saturday? Not much.
Nothing.
So I thought that we could go do a cute little hike and then go to a winery. What you think about that?
So it was a very cute day. It was good for me because I was in my head about a whole lot of other things. So it was very cute.
Yeah, but you're ahead of the story. You're ahead of the story.
No. Yes, I am, but I'm a twirl it back a little bit. But I think that's cool. Like, I mean, come on, let's go. I ain't got nothing else to do, but let's roll.
So it's gonna be a cute little 3-mile hike. It's gonna be cute, and then we're gonna go to the winery, and we're gonna take pictures, and it's gonna be cute. So I go to pick up Epic, and then we was like, "Girl, I'm hungry." And then I was like, where is a Burger King? Because today will be the perfect day for ultimate croissant sandwich. The croissant sandwich is the egg and the cheese and the sausage patty and the ham.
This is also BTFB approved, just so you all know.
Yeah, it is BTFB
approved.
And so it was like, but yeah, Burger King is way out of the way. So you know what? We'll go to Royal Farms, because when has Royal Farms ever let you down? Spoiler alert. Royal Farms let us all the way down. All the way down. First of all, Royal Farms, just like a lot of places, is clearly experiencing a labor shortage. And again, it's probably because they don't pay these girls no money. And just like the girls was coming in there and cutting up I was there that day, girl, you're not going to pay me $10 an hour and expect me to be dealing with all kinds of foolishness and crazy. So I'm going to work. I'm going to feel free to work at a glacial pace.
Exactly.
So we ordered our food, and, I was not expecting miracles, but what we got,
because I believe in you.
Exactly. It was very good. I will say that, I was happy that we had a lot of food, or a good amount of food in our stomach, because we get to Scott's Run, which is, if anybody is familiar with the DC metro area, it's part of the Potomac River system. So it's like Great Falls and all of that. And unlike some rivers where the river, you just sort of like walk through the woods and the river is there, because of the geography, the Potomac River is kind of like the Grand Canyon, meaning that, the area is like limestone. So the river has cut through. So there is a very significant change in elevation from where the riverbed is to where like street level for most places are. I'm talking like 50, 60 feet. We're talking about low hills and cliffs and shit. But I didn't know all of that, because it don't give you no elevation changes when you look at the shit on the map. It's like, oh, okay, so we're here. And we say, all right, so this is 100 feet. So it's like 400, 500, 600, 700 feet. All right, so it's about 700 feet, or no, it's about 1,000 feet. So it's like a fifth of a mile to get to the first fall. Then it's like another, mile or so this way. And then, a mile and a half back. Okay, girl, so it's easy and cool. Girl, we were climbing down over boulders and tree limbs.
So okay, so yes, we were. to a certain extent, and it's all about the footwear. Let's be clear. You need
I had on boots.
footwear.
So I'm so glad I had on boots, because if I had on some tennis shoes or some Skechers, my feet would have been all fucked up.
As exhibited by me almost twisting the same ankle at least 3 times, just because of how. But I had on a good sneaker though, as opposed to a cute sneaker where you walk out with grippage on it.
Mm-hmm.
But the topography on the walk was definitely affected by the fact that we were in the woods. And while these are trails, that's what made it more difficult to navigate.
No, it wasn't too bad on the first leg. It was when we actually got down to where the water was and saw that it was like, okay, girl, that's like a 20-foot drop. And so how are we supposed to get down there? So you're climbing down, and that was fine. So we get to the first little overlook, and we're down in the water where the rocks protrude up in the water and stuff. So then we walk across, and then we're at Major Falls.
But wait a minute, we did that album cover shoot right there.
Yes, we did that. And I've got photos. I just haven't put them together yet because I'm still sore.
Okay.
No, I'm not still sore. I'm fine. No,
okay.
Okay. So on the way back, so it's like, all right, so we're gonna go back, bitch. The climb from the last fall back up was a straight incline at about 45. I wish I was exaggerating. I wish I was bullshitting here. 45-degree incline straight up for at least 3/4 of a mile. It's like imagine looking at a 45-degree triangle, right? And you're here at the bottom, and you need to be here, and it's a straight climb, like straight up with like no intervening platforms or nothing. So it is a straight climb up there. So I'm like, all right, girl. We are here. How much further to this, girl? So we're walking, and then, it goes up and it goes down, and it goes up and it goes down, it goes up and it goes down, and we're walking. And then finally we get back to the parking lot. And as we get to the parking lot, I'm like, thank God. And I was like, bitch, this is not the same parking lot.
And somebody was trying to take an Uber or walk on the street. And I was like,
I wasn't going to walk on the street. I was going to walk on the sidewalk. I wasn't going to walk on the street.
There was no sidewalk.
At part of it was at the other end of the trail, because there were people who, remember, there was only 20 parking spaces there. There was other parking down the street. So for at least part of that, there was sidewalk that you could have walked. So I was like, girl, we're going to walk the sidewalk, because that sidewalk has to go up and down and up and down and up and down. And then Sater is like, oh, girl, it's only another 1/4 of a mile, bitch. He said that to psych me out, because we really didn't have a fucking choice. It's one of those things. It's like, it's not a bike ride or like a hike. It's like, girl, once you walk there, you got to walk back. So it is what it is. So we are walking back, and it's steadily going up and up and up and up and up. And then it dips a little bit. And then it goes up and up and up and up and up. And when we finally saw that car, I was like, bitch, if this isn't it, I don't know what to do. If this is not the end of this trail. And you know what? I look back at the time, I was like, girl, this was only like an hour and a half. It felt like we was out there for days.
It really wasn't that bad. Let me be clear. It wasn't that bad, only because, and we talked about this, because I'll have you to do my neighborhood walk. So the walk that I do in the neighborhood is like 5 miles, and it's not really hilly, but it is hilly. So the way I do it, I kind of hit the hills, whatever. So I'm used to doing a 5-mile walk. And so with this 3 mile, it was like 2.98 or something like that, or 3 miles. And, but the hills were very steep when they were hills. So, and again, it's in the wilderness and the trees.
And it's not like you're walking on a hill and it's just like walking up a road. No, girl, it's rocks and
mountains.
You gotta watch every step that you do, because all I saw was, me taking that wrong step and zigging when I should have zagged, and I threw my whole leg out, and now my leg is at a at some old fucked up ass angle and shit. So, but I'm actually not. I don't think I'm gonna go back this weekend, but I am gonna go back again because bitches.
But we can go back this weekend.
I'm going to go back, not this weekend, but I do need to build up my endurance because, bitch, I am out.
So
I got a lot of shapes. And I am out of all of them.
So here's what we're gonna do. Why don't we do this? Let's do my neighborhood walk. That's a 5-mile walk.
Oh, you're going in and out. Oh, epic! What's happening here? Oh no!
I can shorten it and make it a.
Oh no! Wait a minute! Oh no! Oh, we lost Epic. Oh no! Oh no! We can't find him on the feed. Hold on. Let me see if I can get him back after he stops talking foolishness. Hold on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, thank God! I'm glad you got back. Okay, so now on to another topic.
Yeah, we're gonna get off of the topic of you doing this 5-mile walk in my neighborhood, but it's okay. It's all right.
No. We perhaps can do that. But no, I do want to go back and do that because I need to build my endurance and my strength. So, and it really was, once I realized it was only like an hour and a half, then, it doesn't feel quite as bad. And I feel like if we had done it in reverse, it probably wouldn't have been as difficult because so climbing, the only hard part of doing it in reverse would have been because when you come down it, that's a really steep incline. So coming down that would have been the difficult part. Walking over would have been fine, and then it would have been like a minute of climbing back up to the trail. But then the rest of it, I think, would have been fine.
It was a minute of climbing back up the trail very steeply, but then that gradual walk up would have been the entire rest of the walk back.
So in other words, it's bullshit whichever way you go. So it feels like a good walk and a good way to get like exercise without feeling like you're getting exercise. Because that's one of my problems with the gym. It's like, girl, I just can't be on this elliptical for like an hour and a half because I don't feel like I'm going nowhere. Now, they don't have the super fancy, like if they have like the Pelotons or one of those fancy ellipticals where you can see the screen and you can do that. I don't want to, because otherwise I don't want to watch ESPN or Fox News, which is what they play at fucking gym that I go to, or gym that I'm signed up to, not go to, the one that I'm signed up to.
Peloton and all those things are great. They are wonderful.
And I'm not paying $5,000 for a Peloton. So
I'm not. And my cousin, she's like, oh my God, you should get one. And I was like, cuz, like, we're not doing that. Like, she loves it. And that's great. Baby, I'm not doing that. And plus, a Peloton does exactly what I do not want it to do. It bulks me up in the areas that I don't want to be bulked up.
True.
That, for me, that doesn't work. So I can
get the yams and the ham, so you don't need.
Yeah, like that don't work for me. Like I don't need my ass and my hips and thighs to get no bigger. But I'm looking at some of these comments. So Lynx was talking about, it's funny how his phone didn't ring this, and he said he swear he paid the bill. So Michael jumped in. I'm saying hi to Lola. Hey Lola, I didn't see you. But you said the reasons why you don't hike. Lord have mercy. Well, Lola, you should come out and hike with us. Lynx, you should come out and hike with us. Michael, you should come out and hike with us.
Listen, I don't need Link's old buff ass out there like showing us up like. When we get to the end, he was like, "Why don't we do it again?" And I'm like, "Girl, fuck you! I will push you over this cliff."
Now I would have been game.
I love you, Links. I love you to death.
I would have been game to do it a second time.
Not that day.
I would have been game that day, but I knew we were going out to the winery afterwards, which was actually pretty fun as well.
If you all had said we're going to do this again today, I'm like, I will sit in this car and wait for you all to come back. Because I am not lying. At some point, my legs were like, okay, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. I knew I was going to make it, but my legs were really feeling rubbery. Here's my thing. I don't have strength, but I have endurance.
Okay.
So like I can like girl, there was no possibility of me not getting back. It wasn't. There was never going to be like I'm not going to do it. I can't go on. I can't go on because in my mind I was thinking, girl, once this is over, I'm sitting down and I'm sitting because that's for me. I can do the endurance, but the strength part. So like I gotta build. That's what I really need to build up is my strength so that I don't get as tired. Because I mean, like the next day and Monday and part of Tuesday, it was kind of a wrap for me with these thighs and these calves. They felt swole like a motherfucker, but.
Unfortunately, I didn't necessarily have because I didn't have that issue for myself. Because under all the hammage and the yammage, I think there's a pretty decent base of muscle there. So I didn't have that for me. I didn't have that, but I haven't walked in a minute. So it made me. I felt a little winded because I was like, well, wait a minute. Like I feel like I'm getting a little bit tired, and I was like,
and you and Sater was walking fast as shit on the first leg. I was like, girl, why?
No.
Walking so fast. They were literally like
no.
15 yards ahead of us.
We were slowing down. So listen, it wound up being like this. It was me and Sater and then Dominion and Azamak, and we just kind of broke off because I hadn't seen Sater in a minute. So we were just chit-chatting. And you're in that
and walking fast as shit.
You just start talking. It's like, oh, yeah, whatever. It's like, we just talking. We're like, we're just walking. And then I think Sater looked back and I was like, oh shit, Dominion and Azamak. I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, all right, they're good. I was like, nobody fell, nobody did. Okay, come on. So we're just talking. And for me, I found myself having to slow down because I kept thinking like, you all are behind me after I realized that you weren't walking as fast. I thought we were walking kind of slow. And I was like, well, maybe they're just talking.
No, you are not walking slow.
Taking in the wilderness. Maybe I didn't know what it was.
No, girl. I'm sure Azabek would have been able to keep up with you because he goes jogging and shit every day. Y'all were all being held up by my slow fat ass. That's what it was.
Listen, we weren't being held up by nobody except for all of us, because all of us at this particular point could have used a hike or 2 or 3 on that particular day. So
so that's why I'm 100% not going back there this week. But I would definitely do it's just not happening this week. It's not happening.
So what you're saying is I'm gonna have to do like some sort of kidnap type of situation.
No, I will do the walk in your neighborhood with you, and then afterwards we'll get up on Saturday morning because we have an Onyx meeting. Oh no, girl! No, bitch! No! I
don't do the morning. I don't do the morning.
No.
We have daylight until 8 o'clock.
No. If you are going to have me up and walking out in nature, and listen, my definition of early and other hoes' definition of early is different. I'm talking about 10 o'clock early. Because 10 o'clock to me is early on a Saturday morning.
10 o'clock is double digits and it is allowable. I feel like that judge was like, sustain.
Well, because it's early for me, because that means I have to get up early and drive all the way out to the end of the world where you live to come get you. So then we'll have enough time to go through that and be finished. And then when we finish walking, we can go to the Dutch Farmers Market.
Oh, so that's what it is. It's about going.
Listen, we're just combining multiple things. It's called multitasking, is what it is.
Okay, all right. So, all right, okay, all right. So I'll allow for the farmers market. I'll allow it. Okay, so if we do like a 10 o'clock, I'll allow it.
Yes.
Okay, but
we really should get up and do it and do it at 9 because the business meeting starts at 1 o'clock.
Well, and our walk. I will tell you, our walk will probably take about an hour and 20 minutes. When I walk by myself, it takes about an hour and 20 minutes.
All right. Well, then we need to be on the road at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to be at your house at 9, not 9:05, not 10 minutes after 9, and definitely not 8:45.
we'll talk about this off the air because we got down to single digits, and my mind is I can't wrap my mind around on a Saturday morning at 9 o'clock.
And so see, this is why we can't fuck with Links. Links talk about just get up at 6:30, bitch. I don't even get up at 6:30 in the morning for sex, because even at 6:30 in the morning, I'm like, we can't fuck at like 9 o'clock like normal people. Why the fuck we got to be up so early? The fuck? Why are we getting up at 6:30 for?
Lance, I love you. Listen, I love you so much. Lord knows I love you.
No way in hell.
But at 6:30 in the morning, baby, oh my God, I will be ready to fight. Oh my God, it'll be oh my God, I'll be so ready to fight at 6:30 in the morning tomorrow. I'm gonna get up and go outside and go walking. Why? We have all this daylight until like 8 o'clock at night now. What are you talking about?
I remember the one time, you know how you keep going through these cycles of, I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to get healthy. So I remember I had joined Gold's Gym, and it was a Gold's Gym over by your office in Laverne.
Right, eccentric.
There's a 6:30 a.m. Exactly. I didn't even know the world existed at that time of morning. So I joined this gym because it was when I used to live over on P in South Capitol, and I worked for ICE. So I worked over in Gallery Place. So that was like a perfect gym. And so I got the trainer and everything. And he was like, yeah, so if you're really serious about this, then you need to be here at 6 o'clock to do the 6 o'clock thing. I was like gung-ho for it and got my ass there at 6 o'clock. That trainer didn't show up until 7:30. And I cussed him all the way out and went and got my money back for those training sessions and never got up that early again. Because that meant I needed to be up at like 5 o'clock to get ready, pack all of my stuff, because I wasn't going to go back home after that. So I had to get all of my shit and be ready to get there and all of that. I was like, oh, hell no. And then your ass, I don't think it was 7:30, but it definitely wasn't 6. It was like 6:45 or 7. So by the time he got there, I was ready to go. He was like, okay, you ready to do it? I was like, bitch, I am leaving. And in fact, I need to speak to a manager.
Yeah.
Well, he lost that sale.
Wow. So anyway, we'll make that happen. I think I will do 9 o'clock if we're really gonna do this. I'll do it at 9 o'clock as long as we end up.
All right, we'll make it up. We'll get some pound cake from the.
So Links, I want everybody to know, Links, if you would like to join us, we will not be starting until 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Right. So we'll start at 9. We'll be finished by 10:30. Get to the farmer's market. What would be good? Get some of that pound cake, that Amish pound cake, and get some fresh strawberries and make you some homemade strawberry pound cake, shortcake, whatever you want to call it.
You'll be in and out of there within an hour because you want to walk around, you want to see what else is there. You'll be in and out of there within an hour.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be perfect. So after we left
Links, this Saturday.
Saturday. Yes, 9 a.m. Yes.
A.m. Eastern Standard. Eccentric, if you're in the neighborhood, yes, you could 9 a.m. I'll text you the information on where to be at.
So after we left Scott's Run, we went to this winery called Chrysalis. And that is, if you're familiar with DC metro area, it's out past Dulles. So it's like maybe 25, well, not 25 minutes, like 10 minutes past Dulles out in the woods. So it was cute. It was when we went. So the last time I went was on my first trip away with Azamek. So it was a little bit of returning to, the scene of the crime, because that weekend when we sort of made our commitment and I collared him, that was our first stop, was Chrysalis Winery, because it was on the way. And Azamek loves wineries. It's really not my thing, but you know how when you in a relationship with somebody and your partner is like, I love to do this, and you're like, I could take it or leave it. But he likes it. And it don't really hurt me. So it's not that big a deal. So it's like, all right, let's go to this winery. So we went back to this winery. But when we went, I think it was because the time of the morning we went, and it was like on a Thursday morning. So it wasn't like a ton of people, but there were, because we were just now getting out of this papillomina.
Right. Pashmina, parabola, panini, whatever. Yeah.
Right. That we've been in for the past 15 months. it was full. And, so like a lot of the lawn space was taken up. And so it was cute. And so we did some videos. And I really only wanted to go there specifically because Azamex, one of Azamek's friends had gone and they had a wine there called Snobby Bitch Sangria.
Snooty Rudy.
It's called, listen, you'll see it in the video. It's Snobby Bitch.
Snooty Girl. I got you. Mm-hmm.
Yes, that one. Mm-hmm. And so we went and took some videos, and that was fun. Then after we did that, I ordered some sausage.
So
not that day. I had ordered it before, and it came today. So there's this brand of sausage. Lynx probably is familiar with it. It's called Kunica sausage, and you can buy it in the South.
Yeah.
And so whenever I go to Fort Lauderdale, or no, actually when I go to Atlanta, I buy some from Publix, usually on my way back out of town, because I usually drive to Atlanta, and get me like 20 pounds of it, because it comes in a 1 pound rope. So then I just buy a bunch of it, and then that'll last me for a year. Well, I've been out of Kunica sausage for 2 years. And then finally, I just bit the bullet and ordered some, and it came today. And I made some, one of those bullshit gumbos like the Tony Satchery. So I didn't make the gumbo from scratch, but it will do. It was giving what it was supposed to have gave.
As long as the taste buds scream, and as my grandmama would say, as long as you can make a turd.
Exactly. So I did that, and so that's cute. And then I saw somebody on Instagram, and this woman in Atlanta that makes cookies. And so I got some cookies coming tomorrow. Some
milk and cookies.
Some oatmeal raisinette cookies, which I am going to fuck up.
What the hell?
Butter pecan.
Oh, raisinette. I'm like,
yes. So instead of just raisins, it's made with raisinettes, which just blew my mind, which seems like such a simple context, because I love oatmeal cookies. I love oatmeal raisin cookies. And I've also had oatmeal raisin chocolate chip cookies. So that combines all of that together. She also makes butter pecan toffee cookies. And then just some chocolate chips. So I may have those cookies there with me, and I'll bring you one of each.
That sounds good. Okay, I can work with that. That butter pecan type of situation. That sounds real good. Mm.
Yeah. So, and then also, I finally got around to watching Mortal Kombat.
Lord have mercy. So, okay. So, what did you think about it? Because
I enjoyed it. I get what people hated about it. I mean, I did not go into this movie expecting War and Peace, or I wasn't even really expecting Zack Snyder's The Justice League. I was expecting blood and gore based on a fucking video game, and it was cute for what it gave. I mean, it gave me all of the action. It gave me Makad Brooks without his shirt on.
Yes, God. Eggs is scrambled all over the place. I said, come on. Yes, eggs.
Exactly. So I was like, this movie is totally fine by me. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was cute. So I mean, as far as it was silly, some of the dialogue was silly, especially the two Asian guys. Not the one with the hat, but the one that had the fire.
Oh, the first fight.
Yes, and like some of his lines was a little corny, but other than that, I mean, I enjoyed it. So I mean, I don't get what some people didn't like about it. I feel like people go into movies wanting to criticize something. So if you're sort of predisposed to dislike a movie, you're going to dislike it.
So for me, it was it's not the. I remember the game, and I remember seeing the original movie. And I think for me, the way they built up the story, it seemed kind of rushed to me. Like it really wasn't a whole bunch of a story, but the action and the fighting and all that stuff, which is all I really wanted to see, that was fine. Because again, the first 7 minutes of the movie was bang, bang, banging for me, especially when I saw the preview. And the fight scenes, for the most part, were really good. I enjoyed the special effects as well. Like I thought that was good. I mean, again, like you said, it's no War and Peace. It's no, masterpiece that's going to go down in history as being like the best movie ever, and it's not going to win an Oscar. It's not going to do that, but it's cute. It's cute Saturday afternoon, summertime, rainy day watching, and you try to entertain the kids, and it's a bunch of boys, all your nephews and everybody coming over. That's good. Like, I can work with that, so it works.
Right. If I had gone to see this movie in IMAX, I wouldn't have been disappointed, because this is sort of perfect for those big, huge set pieces. I went in there with low expectations too, so
I would have definitely enjoyed it in IMAX, just like I would have enjoyed seeing Godzilla versus Kong in IMAX as well.
Yes,
but we'll but that's a whole different story. Okay, so all right, so we glad you got Mortal Kombat out the way, and I think I shared with you that I had started watching Invincible. So I think we had talked about this on the show as well. Yes. That was another show that people have been talking about, and I've only watched the first episode, so I don't know what else is going to go, but I think I'm definitely going to watch it. But it was a little
extremely violent. Yes,
it was a little graphic and extremely violent after that, that first episode towards the end. But I'm hooked. I want to see what else is going to go on. Yes. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But I think I'm not sure if that's a part of Paramount, but I'm going to segue into that, because we might as well just start talking about some of the other stuff here as well.
Yes.
But so all these streaming services, and I think that Mortal Kombat was streamed on HBO Max, and Paramount Plus is trying to kick up their game as well. And so Paramount Plus actually announced that they're going to do the game reboot with the original cast. This was something that we found in Essence, like, so the series was originally created by Mara Brock-Akil, creator of BET's Mary Jane and UPN's Girlfriends, will be reimagined with the original cast members, Wendy Raquel Robinson and Jose Chanchez, returning to their roles as Tasha Mack and Malik Wright. According to the Dateline, Brock-Akil will return as executive producer alongside Black Lightning's Salim Akil, and the original executive producer, Kelsey Grammer and Tom Russo of Gramnet NH Productions. So shout out to Kelsey Grammer, because he always, if you pay attention, he's been in the background of like Girlfriends and a couple other things. So Kelsey Grammer's been, I like Kelsey Grammer. But again, the game originally came on in 2006. It was a comedy drama based on UPN's CW, and it was created by Brock-Akil. And it chronicled the lives and careers of the players and wives of the San Diego Sabres, a fictional football team based in California. Tia Mowry was Melanie, Pooch Hall was Derwin Williams, Brittany Daniel as Kelly Pitts, and Cody Bell as Jason Pitts. The show was canceled in 2009, and then the CW, it's canceled by the CW and was later renewed for a fourth season by BET. Once BET picked it up, the show broke cable records and everything else. But again, it actually went off the air eventually. But one other thing about the show is most people don't know that the game is in fact a spinoff of Akil's Girlfriend, starring Tracee Ellis Ross. Now, there is no official release date for the game reboot, but the show is going to be available to watch on Paramount Plus and on Hulu. So looking forward to that. Even though I wasn't necessarily a big game fan, but I did start to get into it as it got older.
I never watched a single episode.
Yeah. It's one of those things you get sucked into an episode, and you think, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? And you start watching like episode 2 and 3 and 4. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't watch stuff on the CW, and definitely not on BET. So I might watch it now that it's on Paramount Plus, but probably not.
But so speaking of BET though, don't cross out, because the First Wives Club, I told you that show, get into it. Miss Jill Scott, it's actually pretty good.
Okay, so Laverne Cox's Promising Young Woman, the role was voiced by a male actor in the Italian release, and that's transphobia, and it's an act of violence. So this movie, Promising Young Woman, it's the Academy Award-winning revenge thriller in which Laverne Cox plays a supporting role as the protagonist's best friend. While Cox's character is never identified as trans, and whether the character is or is not trans is irrelevant to the plot, Cox's gender expression as a trans woman using the pronoun she, her, is enough to question why they would use a male actor to dub her voice in the Italian release. Italy has done this before, several times, in fact. Most notably, Cox's character in Italian versions of Orange is the New Black, The Big D project and another project were also voiced by a male actor. So this is a problem that Italian cinema continues to have, because there's no way that you can tell me that it was entirely accidental that this woman who appears to be a woman and presents as a woman and uses she her pronouns was accidentally voiced by a male actor. It would be different if they were doing this for other people, but it's only happening to a trans woman. And so, yeah.
It's problematic. It's very problematic.
So in other good news, Les Moonves isn't getting his $120 million CVS severance after all. So it's been a couple of years, but he will not be receiving his severance from Viacom. CVS fired Moonves from his position as chairman and CEO in 2018 after several women came forward with allegations of sexual misconduct. Per the Hollywood Reporter, a security filing indicates that the money, which until now has sat in a guarantor trust, will return to the company. No details were released. And the statement said that Les Moonves, CVS, and a contractor to CVS have resolved their disputes. The cost of the settlement will be borne by the contractor. Mr. Moonves has decided to contribute the entire settlement amount to various charities. There will be no further comment regarding this settlement by Mr. Moonves or CVS. If you'll recall, he meaning Les Moonves, made it a personal point of revenge to ruin Janet Jackson's career after the nipple incident, after the Justin Timberlake nipple incident at the Super Bowl that year. So
that's why you ain't getting your motherfucking money, bitch. Sorry.
You okay, dear?
I'm all right. I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm okay. I'm good. So there's a new documentary, a couple of documentaries, because the Drag Race girls are everywhere. Listen, you cannot, huh?
And good for them.
Yeah, good for them. You cannot deny the power of Rue and the drag crew. Bebe Zahara Benet was actually the first winner of RuPaul's Drag Race. She actually has a documentary coming out, and it's if you don't know, Bebe is the documentary itself is going to be based on her and what she's doing. So here's some taglines for the actual documentary. She's an ambitious immigrant from homophobic Cameroon, struggles to build a successful career as a drag performer in the U.S. after winning the first season of RuPaul's Drag Race. Being Bebe is a documentary film about performance, persistence, and purpose as explored through the iconic life of Bebe Zahara Benet, the first winner of RuPaul's Drag Race. So it's with 15 years of unfettered and intimate access, Being Bebe is a celebration of queer Black excellence that bears witness to the highs, lows, and dramatic evolution of one remarkable artist over time. So behind Bebe, the diva, is Marshall the man, and the heart of his story takes place during one hot and stressful summer in New York City, as Marshall is at the end of his rope, facing pressures to give up on New York City and even on drag altogether. It talks about his sacrifices and the things that he's done to try to stay in the game and to be relevant. And it just kind of shows the behind the scenes of this particular drag performer. I'm looking forward to it because Bebe is one of those people, while she will always be the first, she probably did not get because the show got better as time went on and the prizes and everything else. She didn't necessarily get the promotion and the accolades that she should have gotten, like some of the last contestants that won, especially compared to like a Simone or like anyone in the last 5 to 7 years. They've gotten all this promotion or whatever. But I'm glad that Rue actually brought her back for All Stars one time so she can reintroduce her to the kids of this newer generation that may not have known who she was and why she won the first season. Now, I'm not discounting anything from Bebe. I love Bebe and I think she's pretty good. However, I do feel that Miss Nina Flowers, that was the girl she ran up against, should have won, but that's okay. But that's my own personal opinion. I'm not gonna hold on to that. But I'm glad you're here, BB. I'm good.
You're not gonna hold on to it, but you mention it every time we bring up this topic.
I'm just not gonna bring. But I'm not.
Okay, but you're not bitter though. But you're not.
I'm not.
No, not at all.
The release date for her is going to be July 25th. So look out. I'm sorry, June 25th. So be on the lookout for that. And also, Michelle Visage has a movie coming out called Explant. And here's the thing: over the past 6 decades, women across the globe have become sick with an amalgam of mysterious and serious autoimmune disease issues. The common denominator in many of their cases has been breast implants. And if many of you may not have known, Michelle Visage, being Rue's one of his best friends, and also a judge on the show, she had like several sets of implants. And she even got bigger over time, and just a couple different things that she had going on with her breast. She allows the audience into her journey to find well-being via explant surgery to remove her implants. And along the way, she introduces us to other women and all experiencing similar but uniquely debilitating indicators that their implants are poisoning them. In Jeremy Simmons' fast-paced yet meticulously researched film, Explant, we learn of the complicated and questionable history of the breast implant, the doctors who pioneered the surgery, all these different things. So I'm looking forward to that as well, because I think it's not only is it good to show women's health issues, it is also good to show that this can happen to anyone. We probably know 1 or 2 people that have breast implants or had them, or and it's just kind of good to know just in general, because it's not just a women's issue. It's a people issue. So let's be clear with that. The release date on that is going to be June 13th. So I'm looking forward to seeing that as well. That's going to be streamed and it's going to be available to be bought online as well. But both of these are going to be at the Tribeca Film Festival. So you can check out their websites just to find out more information about where else they're going to be showing.
Yes. So continuing the Drag Race theme, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Chad Michaels, who won the first season of Drag Race All-Stars, is going to be on the upcoming season of American Horror Story. And he's been curating drag looks and performances inspired by the show for years. The role he's going to play has not yet been announced, but he's not the first winner of Drag Race to appear on the show. Trixie Mattel played herself in American Horror Story Roanoke. She played a horror enthusiast interviewed by the My Roanoke Nightmare cast and crew prior to returning to the murder house. American Horror Story has been renewed through season 13 at FX.
Listen, I'm looking forward to it. Although I hated Roanoke, I thought it was like one of the worst seasons, but I'm looking forward to it. So
yeah, I didn't watch that one.
Yeah, so Chad, I'm looking forward to see what you're gonna do, Boone. And in other news about my girl Janet, listen. First of all, let's go back and say happy birthday to Miss Janet Jackson. So she turned 55 on the 16th, and so she celebrated by having an auction with Julian's, and so her possessions from All For You this past weekend all went out for a price tag, and fans shelled out more than $4 million buying all of these artifacts. And if you haven't been paying attention online, on Facebook, or Instagram, or anywhere, when I say they sold everything, they had the If outfits, they had stage outfits, they had the discipline gloves. Listen, I even got this t-shirt. Listen, my Pleasure Principle t-shirt, I'm just wearing it because it was her birthday and everything else, but I'm just saying, like, they had all this on sale. I'm just saying, you got anything you wanted. I'm just saying. Now, I happen to get mine off of Amazon for the, at a different cost. But if you were interested in actually buying any of the outfits, let me just give you a taste of what they actually were going for. The outfit from Scream, the iconic music video, it sold for a staggering $125,000. That's 31 times its original estimate. Her Rhythm Nation jacket, cap, and gloves brought $81,250, more than 20 times the original estimate. And the auction even got other celebrity buyers like Kim Kardashian, who bought the If outfit for $25,000. Now, I don't know what Kim Kardashian will do with this this if outfit, because that she clearly can't wear it. Like, we just gonna be clear. Like, while they may share a dunk going on, but Kim's dunk and Janet's dunk are a little different. So I don't know how that's gonna work. And Janet was,
I don't feel like a lot of people buy those things to wear them. I feel like they're going to. I feel like it's going to be like in a shadow box or in some place of honor.
I would hope so, but
because it would just be tacky as fuck for Kim. Well, Kim Kardashian is tacky,
so I felt like we're gonna go like.
For most people, it would be tacky as fuck to wear some famous person's outfit like out in the street like that.
I don't know, because I'm gonna tell you that silver shearling coat from Scream that she had on, baby. Let me tell you something. I would be wrapped up in that bitch. Now,
wrapped up in this coat.
Yeah, it would be for, one or two special occasions, but I would be wrapped up.
Of course, it wouldn't be your everyday. It wouldn't be your everyday Luke.
No. But just to finish off with Janet, so some of her top sellers, her 1956 Chevy 3100 Cameo pickup went for $112,000, while her 2003 Aston Martin V12 Vanquish Coupe went for $70,400. And an outfit worn on her Velvet Rope tour bought in $37,500, while the outfit she wore for her Rock and Roll Hall of Fame introduction went for $32,000. Now, she's donating a portion of the auction proceeds to the charity Compassion International, and they also, during the auction, stopped and had her call in, and it was a surprise, virtual birthday greeting for her. So it was really cute. I enjoyed it. I'm just happy that this auction went off very well. She sold the highest amount of she brought in the highest amount of money as far as an auction is concerned with the items that she had. And Les Moonves ain't getting his money. And it was her birthday, so that's just all I'm saying. So good for you, Grand Jan. Good for you. Now I'm gonna need to know when this Black Diamonds get ready to drop, baby, because I just let me know.
Right. That's all right. So the last piece of news. So what did I tell y'all a couple of weeks ago when Bill Gates announced that he was separating from that he and his wife were getting divorced? Whenever somebody famous or political, we were actually talking about Keisha Lance Bottoms and how she suddenly decided she wasn't going to run. Whenever someone political or rich and famous suddenly has some sort of a major change that's unexpected, it's always because something ain't clean in the buttermilk. There's always a scandal. It was the same thing with Jeff Bezos. When Jeff Bezos was like, we're not going to do this thing, just because he was fucking around on his wife, and apparently Bill Gates was fucking around on his wife. And that was why he actually stepped down from the board of Microsoft, because in 2020 he stepped down. The board of Microsoft determined that he needed to step down from his role on the board amid an investigation into a past affair with a female Microsoft employee. And where there is one affair, there's always 2, 3, 4, 5. So I am going to be the person that speculates and says that Bill and Melinda Gates do not have any kids. And that is almost certainly by design, because as far as I know, unless I don't want to get too deep into people's reproductive issues, but is by design. I think that one of these affairs resulted in a child, and the mother is like, this isn't Bill Gates, Microsoft employee. This is Bill Gates, the second richest person in the world. They got 3 kids. So excuse me, they have 3 kids. Well, even more so, because Melinda been like, all right, you've been fucking around. I know you've been fucking around, but we live in our best lives and our kids is going to be paid. Now I'm betting you there is 1 or more kids out in the woodwork that now this money is going to need to be split by. And so while she may have been able to woo-saw over Bill, getting dick, getting his dick wet all over the Microsoft campus, what she would not abide is these other children that now her children gotta, deal with. Also, apparently, Bill Gates had a close friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, and that was the guy who was in the middle of all this child pornography stuff, who was also friends with Bill Clinton and Donald Trump and Prince, one of the...
That was Charles, I think it was.
No, it wasn't Prince Charles. It's one of the younger ones, so it was either...
It wasn't Harry.
I think it was Edward, Prince Edward.
There you go. I'm sorry.
And the problem with that is that Prince Ed, just from the Crown and all of my little knowledge, Prince Edward is apparently the Queen's favorite, so that makes it even worse. Because if it was like one of the other kids, he'd be like, "Girl, you out there on your own. I don't give a fuck." But it's the Queen's favorite child who was caught up in this shit with Epstein. So Michael Sater says she rented out an island for the kids when they separated. I was like, hey, that's a bad bitch shit. He was like, I am leaving you, and where are you going? Girl, we're going to this island, and you can't come.
A whole island?
Bitch,
whole island?
A whole island.
A whole
I wish I could
island?
ball like that. It'd be like, I don't want to talk to you. We're going off to Chichen Itza.
The whole island?
The whole island.
Oh,
yes. And also it's Prince Andrew. So thank you, Reggie. So okay. He got a whole lot going on. So I'm thinking we are just it said, so their announcement separation said they no longer believe that we can grow together as a couple in this next phase of our lives. So here we go. In its own report on Sunday, the New York Times said Gates had developed, quote, a reputation at Microsoft for questionable conduct around women. The outlet, citing people with knowledge of his behavior, said he occasionally pursued female employees, including one instance when he emailed a woman after a presentation to ask her out for dinner. If this makes you uncomfortable, pretend it never happened, the email, which was read to the Times, reportedly said. And the thing is like, on one hand, it's like, yeah, I mean, that is probably the least creepy way of doing that. But the thing is that, this is an email from the person who founded the company saying, hey, you want to go out to dinner? And we already know who this person is, and you don't know. I mean, you don't have to look very far to see stories of women and men whose life was ruined because they didn't reciprocate. And can you just imagine the man who developed the computer that you're working on right now, that you're watching this on right now, says to you, hey, let's go out. And you say no. And then all of a sudden your internet don't work no more.
For life.
For life. Like your internet, just wherever you go, your internet just don't work no more. Or, you are a systems engineer or something, and for some reason you can never get a job because the richest man in the world has, quietly talked to the CEOs of all of the other companies and is like, hey, don't hire this guy, Epic, because, he's bad goods, and wink, wink. And they may very well know. It was like, yeah, I tried to fuck her and she said no. And so they all know this now. And so this is why keep your shit in the pants. It's never, girl, you got a whole ass wife. Get yourself a hooker, get yourself a high class prostitute or something. Or if you're going to get somebody, you just can't be fucking random. Here's the thing. Don't fuck bitches that you work with. Listen, because I would take one for the team.
I will be. Listen, I'll even set. Listen, Bill, I'm gonna set you up. Listen, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this cool $500,000 down right now, and then your copay is gonna be $1 million every time you show up. So that's how we're gonna do this. Or we can do a $1 million down and 500,000 for your $500,000 your copay. Listen, but every time you show up, it's a copay. So we good. Like I'm that bitch.
Right. So anyway, so let's wait to see what else comes out, because mark my words, there's more.
I'm sure it is, and we're gonna be looking for that and figuring out what's gonna go on.
So I did want to mention that Paul Mooney died today.
Yes,
he was 79 years old, and this is why you gotta go to Black outlets, right? Because when I saw that he died, I just saw it on TikTok, on Facebook, and I clicked the link from the Hollywood Reporter, and it said something, because I don't think I still have it open. It said something to the effect that Paul Mooney, revered writer for Richard Pryor, dies. And so not that that's not true, but it's like his whole life was reduced to just being that. And right. I was like, Paul Mooney did so much more than that, but I didn't know exactly what it was. So I went to The Root, which is a Black outlet, and it talked about his legacy and how he influenced comedians from Richard Pryor to Eddie Murphy, inspired comedians to come after him. He gave quotes from other comedians, talked about his whole career and how he was a person responsible for, helping Richard Pryor craft his persona, because Richard Pryor was much more in the vein of a Bill Cosby kind of comedian, in the late 60s and early 70s when he first came out. And then after hanging out with Paul Mooney, who was a childhood friend of Black Panther Party co-founder Huey Newton, and he also worked on a number of movies. He wrote material for Sanford and Son, Saturday Night Live, and The Richard Pryor Show. He wrote JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Calling, episodes of Patti LaBelle and The Marsha Warfield Show. He was responsible for the creation of the Homie the Clown character on In Living Color. He also wrote for The Roseanne Show. So, he's done a whole lot besides just be, Richard Pryor's writer.
And I had the chance to actually meet him one time in Washington, D.C. And he was sitting I believe we were at Georgia Brown's, as a matter of fact. And he was sitting at a table having dinner, and I was there for my birthday with a couple people. This was years ago. Mm-hmm. And he was just laughing and joking, because we were all laughing and joking. He said something to me, and he was just very nice and very unassuming. And he cracked some joke with us and kept moving. And I kept looking at him saying, God damn, this man looks familiar. I'm like, who is this? This man looks familiar. And of course it clicked after we left. I was like, oh my God, that was Paul Mooney. This is what and I saw him outside, and I was like, oh my God, Mr. Mooney. And he waved, and he got into his car and went off. But he was so nice. He was so unassuming, and he's so funny though. And he is that person that, Dominion, you and I in the meeting, when shit's going on in the meeting, we're sitting there like, there's a whole lot of shit going on. Let me go sit next to Paul. Let me go sit next to Paul right now.
Exactly.
You'll be sitting there going through shit, and it's like, oh my God, like what? Because he will be talking in your ear and saying all types of funny shit. He's hilarious, but he was so nice. So nice. Yes.
So rest in peace. He was 79 years old. He died of a heart attack this morning.
Yeah. I think that's I'm sorry that you died, but when you say heart attack, it just always, it's painful, like the idea of it. And I feel bad that, you went out in such a painful way. I would love for people to just be able to close their eyes and go to sleep and just not wake up. But
yeah. So now it's time for, two of our favorite topics. Let's talk about Legendary first.
Legendary, legendary. So you want to be a legend? You want to be a star? You want to be a statement?
So overall, I liked this episode. It was giving. I'm not sure if it gave.
So, okay. So for me, this episode, there's a theme for every single episode, and I get it that the theme was the 7 deadly sins or whatever.
Yeah, which I thought was
But
a stupid theme because it just felt like it set some people up obviously for failure because some sins are harder to visualize, which I mean I guess is the challenge for whomever. So
that's part of the challenge, but the other part of the challenge was to bring one of the elements of Vogue to your presentation, and many of them did not do that. And
yeah, I was like, there are for if spins are supposed to be the key thing with all of these dips and hand movements and other things, I was like, there's not enough spins for me. I was like,
not enough.
These girls should have got like a 6 or something.
And for me, plenty of them would have been chopped. It was 7 houses. I think I would have chopped at least 4 of them because I was like, bitch, where's your spins? Where's the spins? There's no spins in this. So that was annoying for me. A couple things I enjoyed about this, like I enjoyed 3 of the standouts for me. And it was 4, but I took it down to 3. But the House of Rorichi, the House of Mugler, and the House of Tishi. Now with Tishi
is the bitches to beat.
Now they are right now. They did Wrath, and I love Gia's look, but again, not so many spins, but they left a moment for me. They stood out for me. Mugler, they did Slaw. Now the drama was there. Oh my God, the drama was there. Like the fast, the slow. Like I appreciated that, but once again, where's the spins at, honey? Where's the spins? And Orichi, they had Lust. The fact that you even had that man up on that pole for me took me out. I was like, come on, come through. But again, where's the spins? So, for the House of Garçon, Tonka, the big boy, was off, and he took my eye off.
Listen, I'm a big bitch. If I knew, it feels to me like they wanted to include him, but then they don't include him in none of his performances. And I don't want to pick on him, right? Because this feels like I'm picking on him. The bitch is out there. I'm not, my knees would have gave out on day one. So there we are. Let's just start there. But it just feels like we're all doing a costume, and then now we're going to do something that's only vaguely related for the big bitch. So like his looks aren't even like coordinated with everybody else. And it feels to me like if you wanted to be inclusive, then you would choose a look that looked good on everybody else. And like, yeah, it's the same color, but other than that, his look was not even, he had on this bullshit that didn't go with nothing that anyone else does in his. And I mean, the energy being off, and I get that you being in your own head, but I feel like that's not helped by feeling like you just look at your other team members and they're like, it felt like they were at a completely different, but somewhat related show.
Yeah. And for me, they had pride. And so my whole thing is, he's the biggest person on your team. Guess what? Make him the center of motherfucking attention. You could have pulled out and did I can't remember what it's called, but where they have the ropes that go around and make different poles around it. They could have made it a big color flag like we did when we were in elementary school or in gym, to have the parachute go up and around. They could have done so many different things around Pride, literally. And because we're coming up on Pride season now, again. This is all coming from me now, outside afterwards. But again, the idea of using him at the center of attention is definitely what you want to do. He would be your anchor going forward. And so I had this conversation with a couple other of my, my ballroom friends and family. So I see Desmond is in here. Listen, we were going at this. He was giving one chop. He was chopping kids, and we weren't feeling it. Like we just was not feeling it. So, and like Desmond said, weight is not an issue when it comes to Vogue, because some of the baddest bitches on the ballroom scene have been the big girls that are coming through then and now. Listen, and I was one of them bitches that I was like, bitch, we're not going to do this. Like, no, bitch, we're not going to do this.
Right.
Like,
it's no shade. It's no shade that you can't do everything because of your body size, but do something. It feels like every performance that he's been in, he hasn't really done anything. He just sort of walked from one side of the stage to the other, and everybody's trying to they don't want to seem fat phobic, but I'm the person that be like, girl, you are not contributing to this team, and the fact that you are a larger person is not acceptable for the reasons that you said. It was like, okay, girl, maybe you can't beat a girl to jump up in the air and come down and do a dip, but there's plenty that you can do, and we've not seen any of that so far. And I feel like you are relying on the fact that people are too nice to say mean things to you, even Law, because Law does not want the smoke from all of the girls that would be like, oh, you just gonna call a big bitch out like that?
Well,
Law is concerned about his image and everything. I mean, he is mean when he wants to be mean, and when listen, I like Law well enough, but Law is a bully. And just like any bully, he bullies people that he knows he can get away with bullying. And he knows he can't get away with bullying a big bitch, even if this big bitch. He can't get away with bullying a person of size because the blowback for his professional career will be too strong.
Listen, Law this particular episode, he was getting on my nerves. I don't understand.
His scores was all over the place.
The judges were being shady as hell, and I don't understand what the hell was going on. We were having this conversation. Desmond and I were having this conversation about Lele and how she was being shady as well. I don't know what was.
But I felt Lele was a little shady, but it was deserving. I felt like Lele always gives consistent scores.
I disagree with that. I think the most consistent person, believe it or not, has actually been Megan. Megan's been the most consistent person.
Well, I feel like Megan's scores are always heartfelt. And even if she doesn't know anything about Vogue, which I don't either, but she's looking at it from a performance aspect. And she was like, this wasn't an entertaining performance. So,
but that's what Vogue is. Let's be clear. That is exactly what Vogue is. Naomi is not doing anything different than any other person is doing. Her spins, her dips. Listen, the kids have been doing them for years. She just happens to bring the performance aspect out of it and makes it more exciting, because these same moves are moves that everyone has done or can do. Her mother, her drag mother, I can't say her drag mother, but her grandmother, Miss Alora. Listen, you think Lele was the shit? Miss Alora was the motherfucking shit, and Lele is doing the same thing that Alora did. But again, it's the showmanship and it's the performance. So for me, that's why I give Megan the consistent piece, because she's looking at it from just a performance aspect. Naomi is doing some shady shit. I don't know what that is. I can't quite figure that out. I don't know what that is.
Well, I'll defer to your whatever. But what I will say is that Jamila be on some bullshit. Last week I said that Megan was the Paula Abdul of the show. Like, no, it's Jamila. Because I'm like, Jamila, you just gave this one person a 6, and everybody sort of agrees with that, because their performance was terrible. And then the next person say, your performance was terrible, but I want to see what you can bring, so I'm going to give you a 9. What the fuck?
It's like, what the hell? That doesn't make
any sense. If you're grading people because they did terrible, then they did terrible. When you want to see them do some more, you give them a 6 and be like, bitch, you can do better.
Exactly. Well, so the second half of this had the battles of the male figure, all American runway in heel.
That was all mad to me. I feel like they all should have got chopped.
So there was a few, like, listen, you had Tisha that got chopped, Mugler that got chopped, Milan got chopped, Balenciaga got chopped. It wound up being Icon versus Orichi, and Milan versus Icon, and Marlene versus Kylie in the final battle, and Kylie won. So the way that I saw what they were trying to do with it, but it didn't quite. It didn't give what it should have gave, and that's just what I'm with the runway piece of it. It just didn't give it. So I don't know. But again, I'm gonna watch next week because I want to see what this is gonna be next week. But this week was all over the place for me with Legendary. So we shall see.
Yeah,
we shall see.
So Pose,
baby. Okay. And spoiler alert for those of you that may not have seen it, we go in on it. So I'm just,
We are, and I know that so many people this will resonate with so many people, but I was like, at the end of it, I was like, but did we really move the needle on anything?
So
the relationship with his mother was still the same. His mother sort of like guilted him into coming around to her point of view or whatever. You know, he didn't get the pastor to go home, to go back with him, which we knew was never going to happen, which I'm glad it didn't, because that would have been a little too happily ever after. Because the married man never, listen to me, look at me, look in my face. Look in my face. Fellow homosexuals. And when I say homosexuals, I mean, we'll just say queer people, because I mean gay men, lesbian women, and trans people, and non-gender conforming people of all stripes. The married man never, wait a minute.
I know where he's going.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
Dear queer people, the married man never, ever leaves his wife for you. He may truly love you. He may love you with all his heart and all his mind and all his soul. But he has already proven that he is wrapped up in the trappings and the appearance of being a heterosexual man, and he will never leave you. He will never leave his wife and kids for you. It just doesn't happen. Yes, we could probably all point to one person where it happens, but that is literally like we could all point to someone who win the lottery. But 99.9999999% of us are never going to win the lottery, and 9.9999999999999% of us will be in relationships with a married man who will never, ever leave their wife. And that's a tough pill to swallow, but.
So this episode, first of all, let me go back with this episode.
But am I wrong, though?
No, you're not wrong, but let me go back with this episode. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the fact that this episode mirrors an article that just came out about Billy announcing that he was HIV positive,
yes,
and having a conversation with his mom. And so after reading that article and watching the show again, I saw his emotion throughout all of this episode.
Yes.
And I feel the piece with the married man and the pastor. I felt that. I've experienced that in a couple different ways, and several people have felt that. And for a while, I always felt like there was this thing on my forehead that every pastor, reverend, minister, whatever.
Did you have a scarlet letter on your forehead?
Like they were just coming towards me, and I was like, and in Pray Tell's case, just the wife that was his best friend, I had that exact thing happen with me and someone, and how she did not know that her fiance was gay, and I was like, how did you not know? And while we're on this story, or while we're in this point, can I tell you that I know because I laid up with him? Can I share that with you? Mm-hmm. And while it was not one of my favorite times in my life, I felt like I needed to share that with her, and it changed our friendship forever.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have any regrets about it.
Desmond, when I was like, Desmond said his name is Prayerful, I was like, girl, that is the countryest name I have ever heard in my life. That Pray Tell's name is Prayerful.
Well, but you know what? That might be what his mama calls him. I don't know, but we don't know. But here's what I will also say. The homage to Pittsburgh with the East Liberty bus station, I'll give him that. I thought that was kind of cute because that's East Liberty's section in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
And also, did you notice and did you hear and did you see that motherfucking Lettucey and B Slade in the motherfucking church?
They slayed my entire spirit.
Woo! And Lettucey,
baby, I was so ready to go. I was like,
she was giving you a light taste of Lettucey. Because baby, if you know nothing about Lettucey, baby, listen, she goes all the way in, and baby,
it was. I was like, bitch, when the next loaded Lettucey? I've never been to see Lettucey, but you know,
she is amazing. And B Slade, listen,
turns it.
Some of you may know him as Tone or whatever you want to call, but B Slade was singing his fucking face off.
Yes. So I appreciate it, you know. So for those of you, so Pray Tell has been having night sweats for months, yeah. And he finds this lump on his shoulder. Yep. And the doctor says that it's AIDS-related carcinoma, meaning he has cancer that's been brought on by AIDS. And the doctor says he has 6 months to live. And so Pray Tell is like, I got to go and resolve. So he goes home and to see his mama, and his mama is Anna Maria Horsford.
Yes.
From Amen.
Amen. And she also played on the weigh-in show as well as a security guard. She did a couple other little things too.
Yes, and she was also Ricky's mother in Boys in the Hood.
Yes, yes.
She was the one that said, "Hey, baby," and then she's like, "We gonna do that." And she's like, "Okay." That's her. That's that. And Pray Tell, two aunts are played by Jack Hay and
Janet Hubert.
The first Aunt Viv, dark-skinned Aunt Viv. So I was like, okay, bitch, they got some powerhouses here. And of course, you know, so Pray Tell's mother and Aunt Viv, I'm just gonna call her Aunt Viv, were all deep in the church. Jack Hay was apparently ostracized for the church for having a child with a married man. And so she understands Pray's situation. Also, she feels bad because she wasn't there when, so Pray Tell's father died, but Pray Tell's mother, like a lot of women, you know, they got to have a man around the house, and some man is better than no man at all. You know, married this man, Pray Tell's stepfather, who sexually abused him for years. And, you know, so Pray Tell feels let down by all of that and feels like he, you know, that abuse set him up for all of the other things that he went through in his life, because he spent his whole life sort of looking for this validation from men and all this other stuff. Then he goes to the church and finds out that his old lover is the pastor of the church, married to his former best friend from high school. And that was some powerful and painful shit, because here's my thing. Like, because of who I am, right? Like, I look back at some of the friendships I have, like with people that I knew, like in college and in like high school, and less high school, but particularly in college. And, you know, like you see them now talking about, yeah, Sunday we going to church and, you know, praise God. And I was like, but you was a hoe. No, girl, not you. You were a whore. Not a hoe, a whore. And now, 25 years later, girl, you sitting in here, and then just to be like, I guess it's just a societal thing. It's like, and Pray Tell, this woman who was Pray Tell's best friend, knew
and shared with her.
Pray Tell shared that them and this dude was fucking, and yet she still turned around and married this dude. I mean, listen, I don't know what it is about some women that think they can fix people, but I guess she thought she could fix him. And then now she want to try to get Pray Tell, I guess, to do like a three-way, or to like maybe get him primed up so that she would figure out how to fuck her again.
How she can get that engine running again. She's like, I need some secrets. Tell me something. I need to know something. He was like, what?
Girl, you need a penis. That's what you need.
That's what the problem is. You need a penis. Peg him. That's what you're going to peg him, girl. Peg him. Peg him. Peg him. That's what you need to do.
And so, you know, then they go out to the woods where they probably used to go and fuck around, because they couldn't fuck around at either of their places in the little parks, like, you know, a lot of us did when in our teenage years. And dudes make all these protestations about how he's going to come back to New York City. And Pray Tell is like, girl, I got 6 months to live. He was like, I want to be there with you for the 6 months. And Pray Tell is like, girl, what you are not going to do is you can play my pussy, but you can't play my
motherfucking emotions. Mm-hmm.
And so at the end, he's like, all right, so the bus leave at 5 o'clock on Sunday. And, you know, I love a show that puts some good music. That was one of the things I loved about Scandal, is that they throw in a good musical piece that gets you. And the through line in this episode was Roberta Flack strumming My Pain with his fingers. And Pray Tell is on the bus waiting for him. So he's like, maybe it's like 4:30, right? So he's sitting there and giving him plenty of time to
he knew that man wasn't gonna show up.
He knew, but you know, even as he know, part of you was hoping beyond hope that he could oh no, it was Free. It was Free. So it was two songs. It was Denise Williams' Free, and earlier it was Strumming My Pain by Roberta Flack. And so, but he knew he wasn't coming. But you know, part of you was still hoping beyond hope that he was
and praying and hoping and praying.
So I mean, I get that, and I get that, you know, he wanted to do that, but then it gave this whole feeling like everything was resolved. But I feel like, but did anything get resolved? Did you get closure on anything? Did you get closure on this relationship? I mean, because his mother never really like apologized or anything. The only person who really apologized for anything was Aunt Jack Hay.
Uh-huh.
What she did, you know, the cynical part of me. So Aunt Jack Hay, because I can't remember her name in the show. Aunt Jack Hay was like, here's what I want to do for you. I want to be your executor. So I want to give you whatever kind of funeral that you want to have. And I was like, that's cute and everything, but I feel like Blanca gonna have some real specific opinions about that. I was like, bitch, they put out money from their own pocket to send you to rehab. And now you're gonna get, I mean, yes, this is family. So I mean, I get that, but you're estranged from this family.
Right.
So I feel like if I was Blanca, I would have very specific feelings about that. Blanca probably won't say anything because, you know, that's not the kind of bitch Blanca is. But like,
well, we know Elektra would be like, okay, now wait a minute. And that's exactly why he said the shit that he actually said. There's going to be this one bitch, Elektra, that thinks she's going to be able to run everything. Tell her, hell no. Hell no. But I don't know. The one thing I'll say about this episode, while I'm not necessarily a fan of this episode for some reason, like it was emotional and I identified with a lot of things in it. I thought it was very well written because it was a delicate balance between about the Black church, family, sexuality, the shame, joy, hurt, guilt, love. Like it was a very delicate balance, and it was a story that was weaved together very finely and tightly, you know, throughout, and it touched on all those things. And for a lot of queer people at this particular point, there may have been several similarities in Pray Tell's story to their own. And I know for mine, like there's several things that was wrapped up in there, and I'm just kind of like, wow. So I was good with that. And even the relationship, like you just said, the relationship with his mom, how she never necessarily apologized. She apologized for it, but she said, you know, basically, can we just move on? Can we just move on and get to something else? It's kind of like,
you know, people always say that. It was like, basically, you want me to move on from being raped constantly between the ages of X and Y.
Desmond, we was not gonna call any names. I was not gonna mention nothing about the Reverend, but we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that.
And now, you know, Link says, but legally back then, could they, Blanca at all, do anything with Jack Hay being blood? She could take the advice from whatever. I mean,
exactly.
Someone
exactly nasty.
So even in the 1990s, you could have an executor of your will, and the executor of your estate doesn't have to be someone who's blood.
Yeah, it's whoever's signed. It's
So
whoever is
that
signed.
piece of logic didn't hold together for me. They sort of like said that and assumed that no one was going to question it. It felt like to me that Pray Tell was going to probably die in the same hospital where all them other people died and where Sandra Bernhardt is the nurse. So it wasn't going to be no, oh, just whatever. But lots of people don't have next of kin and, just have, good Judies or whatever that, are there to
Carry out their wishes.
Plug my computer back in because we was about to shut all the way down just suddenly.
Ooh, okay.
We're good now.
Yeah, and I mean, I think for a lot of people, they have that. And as I've gotten older, and my individual everybody's situation is completely different. My mother has dementia, my sister's no longer here. My father is gone, and although I have other relatives that I'm not necessarily in the best of places with, my next of kin or my Judy or my executor.
I got you.
Is someone that I have appointed. So it's
I got you.
Listen.
I got you.
I have appointed that person. Everybody's good, and everybody knows.
Oh, so I guess I'm the elector in this case. No, I'm kidding. I'm fucking with you. I'm completely joking. Because people do say shit like that. It was like, so I'm the executive of your estate, right? And you're just like, this is awkward.
And you're just sitting there like,
it's like when people in the same kind of feeling, like when people were like, oh, I'm having a baby. It was like, oh, so I'm the godfather, right? And you're like,
you have some very nice shoes on, very nice shoes, beautiful gowns, beautiful gowns, beautiful gowns.
Exactly. So I appreciate the show, but I feel like a little bit of it was yada yada yada. It was like, okay, so we need to have these dramatic moments. It was like they knew what everybody on this show is queer in some form or fashion. So even if we didn't recognize the whole story, we recognized enough pieces. So they whiteboarded, all right, we got to have a dramatic moment with the mama. All right, we got to have a dramatic moment with the lover. We got to have a dramatic moment, of redemption at the church. And then they just sort of yada, yada, yada and filled in the gaps in between that. And so I feel like you start off with the conversation with the mother when you first arrive, but then when you pick back up on it, it feels like, okay, well, everything was resolved. And so we cool now. So I'm going to lay up in the bed next to you and,
But you know what? That kind of shows the difficulty of maneuvering relationships within family as a child and also as an adult. And like it's that's why I said I give them credit for the writing, and I'm
giving them credit for trying. It definitely
really credit for the way he portrayed it as well, because he had these moments where you kind of looked at him and felt like you're acting like a little kid. And it's kind of like, but he was trying to focus the best way he knew how and react how he knew how the best way he knew how to react. And so it was kind of, I like the writing of this, and it was his acting helped it. But the one thing I will definitely say I have a problem with, and I have an issue with, this was 1994,
3 or 4, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it was 1994.
AIDS and AIDS-related complex and all those different things. People were not accepting of people telling them that they were HIV positive or having AIDS. And so this kiss between him and the Reverend and the mother and the aunts and all them just loving all on him. Listen, many people were not doing that at that particular point in time. And that's the unrealistic piece for me.
I was very shocked, but I mean, less so that the mothers would, because I feel like they would do whatever, but definitely that the boyfriend or the ex would, because I felt like he would have been like,
I just, so that's the only thing that wasn't, that I just felt was a little disjointed. It didn't quite go with the time. Like it, that's
Yeah.
more of a recent as opposed to a back in 1993, 1994. So
As much as I love the episode, it did feel very much like wish fulfillment and fantasy fulfillment. It was like, I wish this is how I could have dealt with this with my own homophobic, ultra Christian conservative Black family. And I wish this is the resolution that I could have come to with it, which is some resolution, because listen, you ain't got but 6 months to live. You can't be waiting on this hoe forever. You told him when you was going to come. He don't know where you live in New York City. So, I guess that was closure of some point. So, it wasn't terrible. I feel like this should have been like 2 episodes, maybe even 3, if the season wasn't cut short.
No, I'm good. I'm good with this. I'm good with the way they did it. It touched on all the salient points, and I'm good. He was reading the shit out of these people, and especially when he met up with his boyfriend, the pastor, and the pastor was saying, well, you should, something about blessings. He's like, you should kneel down before man and receive it. But he said, listen, I have received many blessings from many men that I've kneeled in front of. I said, you know what? He was reading the shit out of people, and I was just like, it was amazing for me, and I felt like a little sense of vindication for him, and even for myself in some way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. But it was kind of like it was. I don't know. It was a lot crammed in there, and the way they did it, it was a lot. But I'm glad they did it in one episode. Me personally, I wouldn't have wanted to see him stretch it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this beautiful bean footage, and we will hit you all on the other side.
Yep. Be right back.
That's always lovely to see.
Yes. So, I have, just so that everybody knows, I have sent out contact information about our 9 a.m. walk.
Hallelujah.
Lola, if you would like to join us, hit me up and I'll give you some information I'll share with you. You are more than welcome to come along. I remember you said that earlier. So, so just let me know. But I'm looking forward to this week because I'm looking forward to getting over some challenges and looking forward to the new challenges so I can kind of overcome them. And the one thing that I definitely have realized in this past 2 weeks is that I have a lot more in me to give, and I'm able to do more than I think I can. So I'm really using my resources, and it's been challenging, but I am figuring out my resources and how to best use them. So I'm still learning, even at almost 50. So that's where we are with that. So that's what I'm looking for this next week.
Yes.
So, what about you? Any closing words? I mean, any final things you want to?
I'm good. No, everything is cool.
All right.
We're just, living life.
Well, as always, you guys can definitely spend your Wednesday evenings anywhere, but we definitely appreciate you spending time with us. Please share our show with other people. other like-minded people who would enjoy, get them to subscribe and click and get the notifications and come on YouTube. And we have more stuff to talk about. We're always trying to evolve and get some other things on the show. So more people coming in, have more conversation. I've noticed Worthington. I don't know who you are, but you're getting some
You
very
know who he is.
I do. I just don't know the screen name.
I'll tell you afterwards.
All right. I saw my little brother come in here as well. I saw I saw Big Sister Gorgeous one show up. Miss Samantha Trixums. I even saw Rashida show up. Nene here, Rashida. So I appreciate everybody showing up. And listen, it's been a blast as always. So yeah. What about you?
I am good. I'm going to eat a little bit more of this gumbo and then take my ass to bed. So with that, I'll say thank you all for coming out. God bless you and good night. Mwah.